They know how to build the lead. They just don't know how to hold the lead. And I was feeling pretty good because one of your best bets of the week was the Bears getting 3. One of my picks was the Falcons to win straight out. It's 26-10. And I'm getting ready to light the victory cigar, and everything's looking good. And then Matt Nagy, the coach of the Bears, has an idea. He has a thought. He has a gut feeling that it's time to remove Mitchell Trubisky, who brought the team back from a 17-point deficit week 1 at Detroit, down 16 in the second half to the Falcons. It was time for the Super Bowl 52 MVP, Nick Foles, to make his entrance. And with that very questionable call via replay review that had a touchdown turn into an interception,
right.
Or as referee Jerome Boger said to troll all Bears fans, the ruling is a touch back. It was all, I'm just like, oh, why are you doing this to Bears fans? At that point, I'm thinking it's done. It's over. See you later, 26-10. Falcons can't blow this lead. Well, they did blow it. And Nick Foles led the comeback, and it's created a quarterback conundrum for the Chicago Bears. Here's Nick Foles after the game talking about getting an unexpected opportunity and pulling it off for the Bears.
I think just from experience playing this game, obviously, practice throughout the week, you don't get reps. So you're constantly getting mental reps and being prepared and running the scout team, just trying to play ball. And it really came down to, we were down by a little bit, and our defense did a great job of holding them. And just going out there playing ball, trusting guys, watching the defense, watching the secondary, getting us to good plays if we need be, and executing. The way I approach the game is one play at a time. So it's not easy coming in cold like that, but if you can approach it with the mindset, hey, just one play at a time, you can't get all the points back in one throw, that helps a lot.
When Matt Nagy made Mitchell Trubisky the starting quarterback before week 1, I said at some point this year, Nick Foles will play, either due to injury or ineffectiveness of Trubisky. I just never would have dreamed it would happen in the third game after a 2-0 start when Trubisky did bring them back from a 17-point deficit. I just wonder how much of his performance week 2, when they had the 17-point lead that they tried to blow, plus on top of it, the struggles on third down and in the red zone. That's what Nagy told me after the game. It was a gut feeling that arose from their struggles on third down and in the red zone. There was an interception on third down that Trubisky threw that just created the feeling where he decided, I need to do this. And the fact that it worked, They went back last night to Hallis Hall, the offensive coaching staff, huddling to decide who the quarterback will be for next week and beyond.
Right. What was the huddle? Here was the huddle. Hey, guys, Nick Foles, the quarterback. See you tomorrow.
Nick Foles on 1. Here's the huddle. Nick Foles on 1.
Right.
Break.
Yes, exactly. There can't be a conversation at this point. I'm with you, Mike. I was shocked that they were, pulling the switch yesterday on Mitchell Trubisky. It wasn't pretty. I understand that. There's no doubt. But I'm sitting there going, okay, well, maybe here we go. Maybe he can create some of the magic that he had in week 1, like you mentioned. But, first off, the fact that Nick Foles is wearing a dark visor and number 9, looking like Jim McMahon coming in the game, I don't know. Maybe he was made to be the quarterback. But second of all, I think, Mike, with what you're saying, I think there must be more there to what they haven't liked with Mitchell Trubisky. Listen, week 1 wasn't good. The game laid out for him to where he can make a few plays late, and they came back. I didn't sit there and go like, oh, my gosh, he dissected the Lions. Wow, unreal. No. It just 2 or 3 plays, swung the game. He made them, and that was great. It didn't have the look of what Nick Foles showed us yesterday. Nick Foles was what I just said, dissection. As soon as you got in the game, you went, man, he just looks better in the pocket. The ball seems to be in the right areas all the time. It comes out of his hand clean every time, spirals. And the one thing that always jumps out to me, Mike, and we saw it yesterday, is his ability to throw with people around him. The game-winning touchdown, all-out blitz, got somebody hitting him, throws a post right on the money. Those are things that we just don't see Trubisky do consistently, and I understand the switch, even though I was surprised, just like you.
3 quick points on that. First of all, the hit that he took on the last touchdown pass, the kind of thing that will get teammates behind huddle of Nick Foles on 1, ready, break. Number 2, that's how he broke his collarbone last year, so you don't know how many of those hits he's going to be able to take, so you may need Trubisky again at some point. And then finally, we don't know how Foles has responded over the last few weeks in practice after Trubisky got the starting job, because Trubisky earned it based on practice performances without the benefit of any preseason games.
Right.
And maybe obviously Trubisky practiced a hell of a lot better than Foles, because remember, when they gave the job to Trubisky, there was no pushback from anyone that they made the wrong choice.
No,
there was
wasn't.
no rumbling, no unnamed sources, no schism in the locker room between Trubisky and Foles. And the decision to flip the switch at some level may have been influenced by things we don't know about.
That's
like
right.
Foles has looked pretty damn good in practice. And maybe there's starting to be some grumbling from the older veteran leadership on the team.
Sure.
And that all goes into the blender that results in the gut feeling, what starts as a gut feeling and ends up being a permanent switch. And I think maybe out of respect to Mitchell Trubisky, they went through the motions last night. Maybe that's what it is. They haven't made the decision yet, or
right.
we don't know about it yet. I'm going to be surprised if it's anything but Nick Foles, because Nagy told me I don't want to go back and forth. Well, if that's the case, you don't want the guy you just went back and forth on.
No.
You don't want the guy you just removed. You want the guy that you're going to feel good about. And it validates your decision to go with Foles. He came back and won. I'll be stunned if that's not the pick. And, Chris, we're 10 days away from Nick Foles versus Tom Brady if Foles is the guy, which is another
amazing.
Great benefit of that gut feeling if that's the way it goes.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. And, Mike, I think, your point first off about Trubisky maybe doing things that we don't know or whatever it is. Hey, third down, first off, when Matt Nagy says things to you like, hey, third down's bad and all the red zone, those are quarterback areas. I mean, third down is the quarterback down in football. You look at the legends of the sport, the really good quarterbacks, the one thing you can always look at is go, they're good on third down because they're smart, they're big-time throwers, they know they got to be a little aggressive to get the first down, so we got to push the envelope that way. So we don't know, and also we don't know, is Trubisky messing up checks and doing things like that we might not even be able to tell, watching film or watching on TV. So there is that aspect. And then, of course, that last interception Trubisky threw, the pick six, or not the pick six, but the pick that ended up only being a field goal because the Bears defense balled out, really, at the later part of that game. That was just, unexcusable. It was a zone coverage. He threw a shallow crosser like it was man-to-man, and like nobody was there. The guy was just standing there. And I think with that was probably so alarming to Nagy to go, whoa, he's really not seeing the field well if he threw that ball like that. And there's just a difference in Foles. There's no way they can go back at this point. And, Mike, sorry, last thing I just want to hit on. Because I know when Trubisky was named the starter, I thought, wow, he must have really, dominated in training camp to what you were saying. Because you bring in Nick Foles, you think, man, if it's close, you're ready to pull the trigger and just go, hey, Nick Foles, we brought him here, let's go. But this brings me back to, I think it must have been close, and Trubisky just won out, and they almost, gave him the respect to go, okay, you've been the starter, and you've done some good things here. Here, go ahead, be the starter. And they won 2 games, even though they were kind of ugly. I think they just had enough, and this is their best chance. There's no doubt. From what I saw yesterday, Foles should be the guy.
Yeah, and as Tony Dungy said last night, something he learned from Dennis Green in 1992 when Green benched Rich Gannon for Sean Salisbury. Once you remove your starter and put the next guy in, the next guy's your starter.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
And you can't go back to Trubisky. The fans in Chicago have been waiting for this for a couple of years, and now they ride with Foles and see how far Foles can take them. And he's entering the job with 2 wins already in the bank and a third one that he earned. It's going to be a little harder, though.
Yeah.
Degree of difficulty has increased. Running back Tariq Cohen, Nagy told me after the game, it's feared that he has a torn ACL. They can tell by manipulation. They need to do the MRI to confirm it. But without Tariq Cohen, and he said they were just getting to the point where Cohen really understood the offense and they really knew how to use him. Because remember, it was kind of not overwhelming.
No.
But he was coming into his own. And now they're going to have to try to replace that production with someone else, which is going to put more pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, it is. There's still a work in progress. That's the big thing. But I would imagine that with Nick Foles back in the fold here, you're going to see numbers like you saw with Allen Robinson yesterday again. because that's where, I mean, Foles is big receiver like Allen Robinson, pretty aggressive thrower down the field. That's Allen Robinson's game. 50-50 balls, curls, break a tackle, run down the sideline for a touchdown. I would think you're going to see the receiver play for the Bears. You know, the statistics themselves really pick up. And this Bears team's interesting because their defense yesterday, too. Let's not forget, they had moments of really whooping the crap out of Atlanta. Atlanta got very fortunate. I mean, they called a penalty on the Bears one time for a strip sack fumble. They got the ball in field goal territory, but like they hit Matt Ryan so hard, I think the referee was like, that's got to be illegal. I don't know. And it wasn't. It was just hard football. But, I mean, they really got screwed over 2 different times. They're a team to keep our eye on, though, because if Foles can kind of get hot and this offense get going, their defense is top-notch.
And a couple of games against the Packers coming up, and both teams are 3-0 and leaving the Lions and the Vikings in the dust. The Vikings, as I mentioned earlier.
Bye-bye, Vikings. Bye-bye.
I don't care.
See you in 2021.
I don't care. I don't care. It's scholarship year. They're on scholarship. You got to fully enjoy your scholarship year. They'll focus next year on actually trying to win football games. The Falcons will as well. We'll talk more about where they may go from here. You know, I got a couple of teams that I think are already on Coach Dead Man Walking watch, and it's the Falcons and it's the Jets. And we'll have plenty of time this week to talk about the Jets because they play the Broncos on Thursday night, a couple of winless teams getting together. But between the Falcons and the Jets right now, it's not looking good. And at least the Falcons are getting leads. They just continue this narrative of not being able to hold leads.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.